talk about policy, what to expect from the policy today, and who better than Dinesh Kumar Khara, the MD at SBI, joining us on the show right now. Mr. Khara, morning. The RBI minutes last time suggested that the two MPC members may vote for a rate hike or a change in stance. Do you see the RBI changing stance to withdrawal of accommodation from the neutral stance? Because like you have been highlighting, the landscape from the last policy to now is completely changed. So what is it that we're going to see today? Is it going to be a status quo or a hike coming in?
No, actually, of course, today apart from many other things, the fuel price and also the impact of fuel price and the depreciation of Indian rupee, they are also some of the contributing factors which would be some cause of concern, which would have an impact, and the fiscal being where it is. So these would be some of the concerns which also might lead to some kind of a debate in the Monetary Policy Committee. But I think because eventually when it comes to inflation targeting piece, so on that piece I think I expect that there would be a very extensive debate on this subject, and but overall when I look at it in the overall context, considering the fact that the rural economy being a bit uncertain as of now, so that is one of the reasons that possibly the tone may be bit hawkish, but this interest rate may not go up. This is what my sense is.
Okay. So,
right. Okay, Mr. Khara, liquidity has tightened recently, and that is also keeping bond yields higher. What do you anticipate or expect from the RBI government in order to ease the tight liquidity conditions with the OMO announcement? You think that coming through, will that help?
There could be OMO announcements, that is possible, and of course liquidity, there is a pressure, and there is no second thought on this. So let's see how RBI intend to really address this particular aspect in the economy.
Yields have again inched up to 7.8%, up by about 10-15 bips from the recent low. What according to you is keeping the bond market high, and what impact do you think this could have for SBI's balance sheet?
Well, of course, we have got almost about 500,000 crore worth of treasury book. So that is the kind of a number which we have, and the very sizable component is on account of the government securities also of this book. So that's what the scenario is. But when it comes to the yields, when it comes to the yields in the government paper, considering the depth which is there in the market, not much of maneuverability is possible in such a scenario. So that's more like a given scenario for us.
So, Mr. Khara, SBI being the largest bank, and you also recently just hiked the MCLR by 10 basis points. How is it that you will respond as a banker if the RBI does hike repo rates today, or if it maintains a status quo with the change in stance to hawkish?
So normally we look at the customer behavior, and we evaluate that customer behavior in our ALCO meeting, and depending upon the customer behavior both on the deposit and the advances side, we take a call in the ALCO meeting what should be done, and also it will also depend upon how the behavior is in terms of the term money or the short term money, both in terms of deposit as well as advances. So that is something which will be the guiding principles. For that we will have to wait till ALCO to really take stock of the situation.
Right. So what percentage of your loans are floating at this point, and what percentage are fixed?
Well, MCLR based loans would be quite a significant portion now. It would be as high as about 65–70% loans would be MCLR based. So that's the kind of a proportion it would be. And so the fact of the matter is that in a rising interest rate scenario, of course, we'll have to see that how best we can keep our net interest margins intact.
Suppose the recent orders by the Allahabad High Court and Delhi High Court, do you expect Reserve Bank of India may actually allow withdrawal of application for the Feb circular? I mean, the reason I'm asking you this is because a lot of companies and a lot of banks for the quarter gone by, they were forced to take a lot of write-offs, and the Allahabad High Court clearly seems to be making a distinction or seems to be categorizing between non-willful and willful defaulters.
That would be the remaining piece about the MCLR based loan would be about 70%. So, actually that becomes floating to that extent.
Okay. All right, Mr. Khara, appreciate your time and thank you for joining us. And well, nobody is expecting Reserve Bank of India in a sense to come out with a rate hike, but the underlying commentary, the tone has to change. The MPC last time when they came out, they surprised everyone with a very constructive outlook on inflation, and this time around, given where crude prices are, how other variable factors have moved, they really could be forced to change their outlook.